The equation is y equals mx plus b, and you substitute what you know and find what you don't. What do we know? We know y. We know m.
No, negative 1 half.
We know x.
4.
And we don't know b. All of algebra involves a couple of things. One, you write, generally you write a diagram. In this case, I could actually diagram that and see the equation and read it off of my diagram if I wanted to. That would be the first level. Then you write a formula, you substitute, you simplify, and you solve. It's negative 1/2 times 4. Negative 2 plus b, and then you solve. You add 2 to both sides and you get b equals 7, and you have an equation. This is not the answer. That's the y-intercept value. The y-intercept is at 0, 7. What's the equation? But last 6 weeks, I spent at least 10 hours telling you over and over and over again how to graph using h's and k's, and how to do transformations of parent functions. The parent functions that we looked at look like this. What is this thing? It's a parabola. What does this look like? Which looks like a V. A cubic, looking like your Egyptian guy with the arms or something. And a line. I showed you what to do when you wanted to translate it to a new point. Say HK. The pattern here, watch. Y minus K equals minus H quantity squared. This is a parabola centered at or has a vertex at HK. And Y minus K equals the absolute value x minus h is an absolute value v with a vertex at hk. And the same thing for the line. I also told you about things like reflections, stretches, and compressions. A stretch or a compression for this is a coefficient in front of x. If this a value is less than 1, it acts like a slope. It is not a slope. You cannot count this as a slope. This is a parabola. Parabola slopes change. You can, however, compress it or stretch it. If a is less than 1, it's a compression. If a is greater than 1, it's a stretch. If a is less than 0, if it's negative, it's a reflection. The same thing's true here, except the good news is this time this behaves a whole lot like a slope, doesn't it? You can count it. Remember that?
Yes.
And you can count it on the right, you can count it backwards on the left, and you can get your equation. What does this have to do with this? Well, I told you that when you have this, you can write the equation in about 5 seconds. There's h, there's k, there's the slope. Y minus 5 equals negative 1/2 times. This is the standard form. Well, it's actually the slope, point slope form of a linear equation. It goes through 4, 5, doesn't it? Doesn't that zero it out? Does 4, 5 make this true? It does. Does it have the slope of negative 1/2? It does. You're done. That's the equation. Now in your textbook, you'll notice that they multiplied, well, if you want to put this thing into slope-intercept form, you have to distribute the negative 1/2 and then add the 5. You can do that. Go ahead and distribute the negative 1/2 and add the 5. Or, sit and wait for me to do it. That's a good plan. See how that works out for you. Negative 1/2 x plus 2. We add 5 to both sides and you get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 7. That's the slope-intercept form. What form is this? Point slope. There's a third type of form that we like. It's called standard form. Standard form equations have everything equal to 0. We like them that way. Your textbook will not tell you what they're doing. They'll simply do it. They might take something like this to put it into standard form. They're going to multiply everything by 2. What do you get? Negative 1x. We're multiplying everything by 2. Plus 14. The reason they multiplied by 2 is so that there's no fractions. They don't want to have any fractions. Then they're going to add the x and subtract the 14 from both sides to get it equal to 0. So they're going to add the x, and they're going to have x plus 2y minus 14 is equal to 0. They will not include all the algebraic steps. They'll just simply give you the results. This is called the standard form. You should be able to write out any of those 3 fairly easily and move between them. To get this in slope-intercept form, you solve for y. To get it in point-slope form, it's just write it. To question number 2. It says we're going through the point negative 3, 6. What does parallel mean? So cross all that out and write down what's there. What does this mean? The slope is 1/3. Cross that out. Is that what you need to know to find the equation? Point and slope, write it. Takes 5 seconds. Literally. Or 20 minutes if you go like. You learn math by doing it. You learn it even better by teaching it. Y minus 6 equals 1/3 times x plus 3. That's how long it takes. Mess around. Doing it is good. Teaching it is better. That's point slope. Now, I'm going to show you how to go directly from point slope to standard form.